declaring the winner by TKO, Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
I even want Conor if he'll agree to it, you know what I mean? Conor would be awesome. Any top five, I'm coming for the belt, man. Cowboys back. I'm on a roll, baby. Here I come.
Conor McGregor responds on social media, fights on. Now, so many people are going to say, well, is that fight going to happen? Hey, you know what? I'm bullish on it. Yeah, I think so. Say whatever you want about Conor McGregor. Give him all the compliments in the world you want. But when you're complimenting Conor, make sure you add to the list, he is a man of his word. If Conor says something's going to happen, it happens. If Conor says he will fight somebody, is going to fight somebody, accepts a fight with somebody, you can lock it in. That fight was just made. I feel very confident in telling you guys it is going to be Conor McGregor versus Donald Cerrone in the very near future.
You and me standing right here in the hallway of Barclays Center, you believe in your heart that your next fight will be against Conor McGregor?
I would like to say yes. I hope he signs it, and I hope he does, but a lot of things got to come into play, right? He's got to agree. He's got to find a date. Let's do it.
What is up, MMA fans? This is MMA HeadSpace here, and wow, do we have a fight. Cowboy Cerrone versus Conor McGregor in the lightweight division. I've been waiting for this matchup for a very long time, and I'm really excited to see how it plays out. Let's dive into both their records and talk about their recent fights. Cowboy Cerrone has suffered a big loss from Darren Till, getting swarmed and TKO'd in the first round, but since then has bounced back by winning 3 of his 4 last fights in dominant fashion, notably against Mike Perry, who he submitted in the first round via armbar, and Hernandez, who he TKO'd with a giant head kick and followed up with punches and ground and pound. Cowboy has been looking really good recently, and there was a lot of uncertainty whether he would perform well at lightweight in this stage of his career, but he definitely made a statement the other week, which has earned him a shot against the notorious Conor McGregor. Now let's look at Conor's record. Conor's been having a really hard time recently. He has fought against Mayweather in boxing, where he got TKO'd in the 10th round. Then he made his UFC comeback with a fight against the current lightweight champion, Khabib Nurmagomedov, who absolutely smashed him, submitting him in the 4th round via neck crank. This has left him in an awkward position because he lost in dominant fashion and nobody is really calling for the rematch anytime soon between Khabib and Conor. And because of a brawl that ensued after the fight, we're waiting to find out how long the suspension is from the UFC anyway. Even still, Conor McGregor has tweeted Cowboy saying that he wants to fight and has uploaded lots of photos to his Instagram showing that he's back in the gym and ready to get to work again. If you haven't already seen them, then go check them out. Without further ado, let's watch some highlight clips and get into a breakdown and then some predictions for the fight. Conor McGregor is hands down one of the best strikers in the UFC, who made a name for himself by taking over the featherweight division. He climbed through the ranks, knockout by knockout, then went up to lightweight, making easy work of the kingpin, Eddie Alvarez, winning by TKO in the 2nd round. A master of distance, keeping his opponents at bay with body kicks, pressuring them against the cage, lining them up with head kicks, and then shooting straight right-lefts down the pipeline. The touch of death. I think in this fight against Cowboy, kicks and pressure are going to be a big part of McGregor's game. We know that Cowboy doesn't do too well in boxing range when he is getting backed up by his opponents. An example of this would be against Darren Till, a fight that we'll come to in a moment, and that's where McGregor really thrives. Take a look at this clip from the Chad Mendes fight though. Conor using his body kicks to push an exhausted Chad against the cage, then follows through with that right-left as Chad tries to circle away from Conor. If Conor can be energy efficient, prepared for a 5-round war, and utilise the tools that he couldn't really utilise against Khabib, then I think he's got this one in the bag. Look at this again. That's that big left hand there. I'll replay it in a moment. Kick to the body. Boom. Up against the cage. Lines him up. As he's circling out, lands that left hand. And that's a knockout, guys. And I think that's what's going to happen against Cerrone, to be honest. Now, a lot of fans are talking about wrestling, saying Conor got exposed by Khabib, and Cerrone could just go for the takedown and choke Conor out. This Cowboy has a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu, so that could happen, and there might be some trouble for McGregor if he does get taken down, but I think it would be more difficult than that. I like to draw parallels between Darren Till and Conor because I think they have a similar style, and Darren Till is obviously a much bigger man, but they both have really good takedown defense, and their striking style is similar. See how Darren gets his arm under Cerrone's chin when he goes for a single leg here, making it really uncomfortable for him, so he has to give up that position and is forced to stand up. Now have a look at Conor's takedown defense against Khabib. He pushes the head down, he grabs the hip, and he tries to take the back there, but eventually it's not enough. Khabib just drives forward with his shoulders and gets him up into that bad position on the fence where he spent the most of it kind of first round there. I think that Conor actually showed some good takedown defense in that first round, and particularly in the 3rd round where he had some success with takedown defense against the cage, managing to keep the fight in the feet and landing some punches there. Overall, he was just completely outmatched by Khabib though. Now let's go back to Darren Till and have a look at the striking. I think what Darren Till did really well here was just marching Cowboy down and never giving him a chance to reset. Nice head kick there, which forced Cowboy to circle out to the left, and notice how Darren Till moves his hands up and down to keep Cowboy guessing before pushing forward for these straight 1-2s. At this point, Cerrone was hurt, took a few more punches and then just covered up. He'd given up at this point, and I think Darren's size just intimidated him a bit too, as Cowboy isn't a big welterweight. I think that Conor can have a lot of the same success by pressing Cowboy, becoming the ring general and not taking a step back, whilst pressuring him with head kicks and that straight left hand that's knocked so many opponents out before. However, Conor is not a bigger fighter than Cerrone, and this could lead to Cowboy planting his feet and then charging forwards with a flurry of strikes, like he did against Hernandez, and he had a lot of success with that, so let's take a look. This was a messy fight. As you can see, Hernandez implemented a strategy of trying to clinch up with Cerrone and do some damage with some dirty boxing, a bit like how DC knocked Stipe Miocic out. I think the problem that he had here was he was expecting Donald to back up like he did against Darren Till, but he actually just planted his feet and stood with Hernandez, and then when the clinch broke up, Donald would come firing out with strikes and that big right head kick. Honestly, if that head kick landed on Conor, it could be night-night, but Hernandez does not have the same understanding of distance that Conor does, so we'll have to see how that plays out for Cerrone. And those big elbows, it's almost as if Cerrone has learned from Darren Till and added those kind of big elbows to his own game. If you get hit with one of those, it can do some real damage, and if Cerrone is going to win this fight, it's going to be by preventing Conor McGregor from taking octagon control. This way, Cerrone can land his own big shots, maybe even clinching up with Conor, freshening the takedown, letting Conor defend the takedown, and then landing the big head kick when Conor exits and tries to create space for himself. And just look at how amped up Cowboy is here as well. Big ferocious knees to the body, hard punches in the clinch, and these are being thrown with bad intentions, guys. All these punches are meant to hurt this guy. He wants to get him out of there fast, and he knows exactly how to do it. He's been setting up the head kick by utilising low kicks, then he goes up and high and scores that knockdown. That's how he conditioned Hernandez, and it gives us a glimpse into his mindset too. Once he scores a knockdown, he takes his time, gets himself into a good position by bringing his leg over and propping it against the cage, and using his height, he manages to pick his shots really precisely and is able to get the finish. I genuinely think this is a different, fired up Cowboy that we haven't seen in a while, and that the fight with Conor will be really competitive. I think that Conor will be able to KO Cerrone if he is on point like he was in the Alvarez fight. We just have to wonder, will his mindset be on point after that humbling defeat to Khabib? What I will say is that Cerrone explained that now his wife has had a baby, his whole mindset has changed, it's primal. Every time he fights, he is providing for his family, he has that hunger within him. If this fight gets signed off with McGregor, and that actually happens, you best believe it's going to be the best version of Cerrone that we've seen yet. But as we know, Cerrone doesn't always take well to mind games. We saw this against Nate Diaz, where he fought with emotions and lost. And even a little bit at the press conference with Hernandez, Cerrone said that if he mentioned family, he would have killed him at the press conference. McGregor is a master of mind games in the UFC. Whenever Conor fights, there is always one question. Is Conor McGregor in this guy's head? I'm not convinced that he will be able to, but I guess that we'll just have to wait and see what happens. So guys, I've shared a few of my own thoughts with you on this fight. What I'd like you to do is comment down below with what your thoughts are on this matchup, who you think is going to win, and why. Also, sub to me if you like the content and want me to break down some more fights for you. I've been MMA HeadSpace, you've been amazing. Peace out.
That's just the drugs. Don't they make you feel numb? You can't feel it all. Maybe if we loved ourselves, it wouldn't be so hard.